All right, guys, the time has finally come. Guess what? It is brisket time. All right, we're getting ready to trim this up and get it ready for the smoker. Welcome to B. Roy's Barbecue, home of some of the truest barbecue methods in the great state of Texas. Here you'll find all your keys to grilling, smoking, and cooking up some of the best food on the block. So if you like the videos, please do me a favor and subscribe. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my knife. I've got a flexible boning knife here. I'm gonna come right down right in the decal, okay? Because I'm cutting that out anyways, so it doesn't matter if I pierce it right there. This is an extremely sharp knife. So you'll notice what I did here is when I pull this out of the plastic, I've already got a couple lines of paper towels right directly underneath, okay? Because what's gonna happen is as soon as we get this guy out of here, it's probably going to drip a little bit. So we put it right on the paper towel to minimize our mess. We get rid of our package here, and then I take some more paper towels and I just kind of blot the top of it. And then we're gonna get to trimming here in just a minute. So the first thing you do, first thing I like to do, look, this is how I trim a brisket. I'm not saying it's the right way, but this is my way. So there is gonna be some silver skin underneath right here. A lot of times you can just peel it. It'll just flake right off, and then you don't have to take it all. What I will tell you is, like, check and see how the grain is moving. If you notice here, see how the grain's moving this way? It's a lot easier to trim that silver skin when you actually turn the brisket and trim it with the grain, okay? So notice how it'll just kind of flake off. And you don't have to get all of this off, it really doesn't matter, but if there's anything that's kind of dangling, just take that off. So I'm really not going to be taking too much of this off because this one is pretty clean. And then I've just got my knife, a couple small areas here. And that's pretty much it for the silver skin. The next thing is this decal fat right here. This is hard fat. It's not gonna render, so let's take it out. All right, this is actually pretty good to use to make tallow. So I'm just taking that out. You can see the marbling in this brisket right here. Look at that, that's gonna be incredible. So I'm gonna try and get under it a little bit. Look at that. See how I can just kind of take my thumb and using the knife and using a little bit of pressure, I can get in there. I can come this way, right? Be very careful with your super sharp knife. And then try not to take any meat off here. So we're gonna just come in like this. Get that guy out of there, okay? That's looking pretty good to me. I'm actually gonna leave a little of this in here for structural integrity. So now there's two more major cuts we're gonna do before we flip it over. See how on this side, you've got this line right here that's discolored? We wanna remove that. We do not wanna cook that. So what I'm gonna do is start here and make a little slit. And then I'm also gonna make a slit. I'm gonna come in a straight line, okay? So start here. And then come right down. You may have to hit it a couple of times. But you don't wanna cook that stuff. This is great for like making sausage. We're gonna put all this to the side here. And then now we can remove this paper towel since it's gotten all the moisture out that we need. So if you look here, you can see, I can actually see how much of a fat cap it is that I have. So I'm gonna be trimming this. So I've got a little discoloration here. Anytime you see discoloration, get rid of it. I don't cook it. You can if you want, I prefer not to cook it. And then we're gonna start kind of shaving, right? Making it nice and curved as much as possible. You hear the term aerodynamic, which is a very popular barbecue term. So I'm looking pretty good. I haven't even flipped this over yet, and it's already looking pretty good. Now, on this side, we're also gonna take this part out as well. Another big cut from here to here. And I'll show you guys, last time I used this knife, I'm actually gonna take this bigger knife to do this one because it's much thicker here, and I need a big blade. I feel like I need a bigger blade here. So I'm just gonna go straight down like that. That goes in sausage trim. Let's round this a little bit. Okay, so now I'm feeling pretty good on the bottom side right here. Now let's flip it over. Now, I've got a couple more things to do on this side. The first thing I'm gonna do, let me flip it so you can see it with this camera. This is a great one. This is called the Mohawk, all right? What I typically do is I shave it down, I take it off. It's kind of weird. If you cook it like this, it's like this weird flappy piece. It doesn't cook evenly. So I take it off, I use it for sausage. That's just me. So I'm gonna go in like this, and I'm gonna start giving it a haircut here, all the way down here. Look at that meat right there, it's beautiful. So, and then I'm gonna come back here and get all of this in a little bit, but right now, I wanna get in here some more. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it very, very flat on top. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. I'll come clean this up and shave this down a little bit. So the next thing we're gonna do is right here. Do you see all this fat here that I can pretty much peel off? All that's gotta come off. And then I've got this edge here. I don't like that edge. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm starting to shape. Starting to shape it up to get it nice and even. And again, we haven't even touched the fat cap yet. All I'm doing right now is really just shaping this thing. So really, I like to alternate knives. I feel like whenever I need to make a long stroke, I get rid of this one and I use one of these larger ones. And so I've got these two that I've been using to make the trims with. And then I've got this slicer that I'm going to use to actually slice down and shave down the fat cap. So this weird piece needs to come off. But that's looking pretty good right there. So all we have left to do at this point is really, I'm gonna make this a nice symmetrical shape here. And then I'm gonna come in here starting with the point, and I'm gonna shave this fat cap down a little bit to where we want it to be about 1/4 inch. I'm gonna just kind of carefully trim it down, trying not to expose any of the meat. And if you do, it's okay. But there's a lot of fat right here usually. And so we want it to, it's typically not gonna render. We wanna take as much of it off without scoring the flesh. So this is that really good fat that melts very good in the tallow right here. This harder fat right here on the edge. And so that's why I like using this knife, because it's for like the precision cuts. Okay, so that's okay right there. So then I'm gonna kind of keep coming down like this and taking that down. That's looking pretty good. Now, notice how there's a little ridge here. So that's where I like to take this slicing knife because it's on an even plane, and I come in like so and just kind of shave it and get it down as flat as possible without scalping it on the edge here. So that's what I love this knife for, is being able to like just really shave it down nice and close. And then another trick to get this is to come underneath right here with your hand, being very careful, lift it up. I'm not too worried about this down here because I'm getting ready to trim this off anyways. In fact, let's make a mark here. So the reason I'm taking this part off, look how thin this flat is right here. That is gonna cook up super quick, and it's not gonna be good at all. So we're gonna lose this. So I'm just gonna take it off, and I'm gonna try and go like so. So all that's gonna come off. Again, we can use that for sausage. And then this is where I start kind of shaping my brisket. It's starting to look, let's round this off here. We're getting closer. Anywhere you see like a kind of a hard corner, just take the knife, square it off. We want a nice, beautifully curved brisket like this. We are really close, or almost done here. Let me just take that edge piece off, and then I'm gonna square this up just a little bit more, round it off a little bit. Let me just run my fingers here one more time, but we are just about finished here. Little scalp here, and if you do that, that's okay. Just take your knife and scrape it, and usually that'll take care of that. So one more last check right here. And there we have it. Perfectly trimmed brisket, ready for the smoker. Actually, ready to be seasoned and then put on the smoker.